Hello and welcome to Grossly Competent, the learning, development, and adulting podcast that doesn't claim to be pretty. No. But we will happily pretend to be slightly competent. I am your host, Steve Council, joined by my co-host, a man so ugly that mirrors get 7 years bad luck just by reflecting his image, a Mr. Patrick Ayleshire.
Well, thank you very little, Steve. You know, you are quite the reminder that beauty is subjective. Really, really subjective.
I told you, I spend real time trying to figure out ways to introduce you. And my goal, listeners out there, is to have a different one every week. So hold me to that standard.
I'd almost prefer you actually just grab a knife and stab me in the stomach or something.
Oh,
that would just probably feel better than that phrasing that you use.
No need to get so violent. My goodness. So what's going on, Patrick?
You know, it's been a week, but I'm really excited to be here.
Me too.
I am excited to talk about learning development. The cool thing about the field that we're in is that we might be very busy at work, but we enjoy what we're doing. And then the icing on the cake, or the mask on the face, however you want to look at it.
Oh, preach.
Is we get to now host a podcast and come and talk about learning and development some more. So it's it's a good thing. I like it.
So I would assume most people out there are like, he's being sarcastic. No, we actually really like doing this. Like we do. So I get excited. I legitimately get excited for recording day. I'm glad that you're in the same boat.
Definitely nerds where we have texted each other throughout the week like, man, I'm really looking forward to this topic, or yeah, I can't wait to record, or yeah, is it Thursday yet? And that is pretty amazing and also very sad.
You know, I'm going to go with amazing. Why not? It's a glimmer in my life, and I just love it so very much.
Referring back to last week, it helps us feel like we are adulting in a way.
Absolutely.
Hosting a podcast.
Yeah, with 100%.
So Steve, I want to start off right the bat. We've been getting a little bit of pressure from our sponsors each week. They're putting a little bit of pressure on. They're very happy to be sponsoring these episodes. However, they have asked if we would let the listeners hear them earlier in the episode. So we're going to start off with just to, kind of get it out of the way, and I'm still going to read it my enthusiastic way. I always do, but we're going to go ahead and just jump into the sponsor this week so we can acknowledge them and thank them for all the things they have done for us, not only here on this show, but in our whole life.
Yeah, that sounds great. Who is our sponsor?
This episode is brought to you by IKEA Instructions. You know, those cryptic diagrams full of angry stick figures holding Allen wrenches. IKEA Instructions are less assembly guides and more existential puzzles designed to test your patience, relationships, and sanity. Warning: following IKEA instructions may cause confusion, mild rage, and the creation of furniture that technically exists but wobbles when you sit. IKEA instructions, because nothing says teamwork like arguing over a screw that doesn't exist.
Wow! But seriously, IKEA, let's talk. I would be more than happy to have you sponsor us. I have to admit something here, and I bet many of you out in listener land will think I'm a big fibber. But I have put together quite a bit of IKEA stuff. I know you're jealous. I have 100% never had an issue building anything IKEA with their directions. It reminds me of Lego, but I digress. Legitimately, I promise you it's true. And I have met really far more talented people than I am that have had difficulty. So when I tell them that, they think I'm also lying. So, well, there's that. I know I'm a big deal. What can I say? So IKEA, we'd be happy to have you continue further sponsoring us because you're amazing.
I'm really impressed, actually. I don't know if I can go on the rest of the episode. I've never heard that someone enjoys IKEA instructions.
Not enjoys. I can actually read them. I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Yeah. But maybe it just...
You can read the pictures because there are no words.
You're right. I can read the pictures. And the smiley face man that's holding the Allen wrench, like, don't use power tools. I sometimes...
Well, that's, it does make sense, though, because we've joked about this before, but our reading levels, I think I'm a little stronger, but your reading level is very low. So you're a picture book guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, the only thing that I don't like about the IKEA instructions is they don't have pop-outs. But that's okay. That's okay.
They do make a bath book.
What? A bath book? What do you mean?
The soft
what's that mean?
The soft bath toy that you give to babies.
Stop.
They're bath
they
books.
Don't.
Yeah, the water, Yeah.
I'm going to look this up, and if you are lying to me...
No, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the materials, but it's like a plasticky material. Yeah. You take them in the bath. They're waterproof.
Oh, that's really funny. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Although I assume you're lying to me, and it's going to be like a week from now, someone's going to be like, you actually believed him. You were dumb.
I'm dead serious. Yeah, I am dead serious.
All right. Enough about IKEA. They haven't sponsored us fully yet.
I was going to guess, though, that you are more of a Where's Waldo guy.
Those are too tough.
I don't even know what Waldo looks like. It's really hard. So, Steve, I wanted to chat with you today since, thank goodness, we are out of this whole summer. People are like, boo! But I was giving my Instagram followers some crap because right when Labor Day hit, a handful of people were going, it's still summer. Stop saying it's fall and that you're picking apples and you're getting your pumpkin spice lattes. It's still summer for 3 more weeks. Mm-hmm. And I was like, really? It's, yes, per calendar, it's still summer. However, kids go back to school.
Yeah.
They don't go to school. Mostly, they don't go to school in the summer, at least in Wisconsin. The weather's changing. All those things. I go down the whole list.
Yeah.
So, since now we're officially in the autumn season, I want to know what is your favorite thing to do during this time of year? Is it jump in the leaves? You still like doing that like you did when you were a kid? Do you perhaps cry into a pillow after looking in the mirror?
That's all the time. No season is dependent on that one.
Apple picking, Fall Fest, Oktoberfest. Because I got to say, I absolutely love autumn. Speaking of which, what a great word. It has so much more feeling to it than fall. It's fall. Fall. What a boring word. Anyway, autumn. Leaves changing colors, the cooler temps. What I like to consider jeans and sweatshirt weather. Chef's kiss. Start of football.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Our best day ever. Halloween.
Oh, without a doubt.
I don't know. It brings a lot of nostalgia for me as far as with, the Halloween movies, the trick-or-treating.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a cool time of year.
Yeah.
So, how about you, Ugo?
Well, I'm one of those absolute savages that refers to it as fall. Autumn is too high shelf for me, I won't lie. Fall is legitimately 100%. It's my favorite time of year, bar none. My wife makes fun of me endlessly and says that I'm a basic bitch because I love pumpkin whatever. Like I am the pumpkin spice getting, apple picking, and I will always wear my yoga pants everywhere I go. That's totally a lie. No, I don't do that. But I absolutely do love pumpkin spice. I love all that. I also absolutely love probably the most hated candy on the planet, and that is candy corn. I do. I love it. I do.
That is controversial. That is definitely.
We might have to have that conversation during our Halloween episode, but that is. I know where I stand. I will fall on that sword. But you mentioned the weather. Absolutely. I agree. Weather's awesome. I like it where it's like warm enough you can wear a t-shirt. It's cool enough for jeans. And at night, if you have bonfires, you can wear sweatshirts, and you can have possibly my favorite beer ever, and that is an Oktoberfest style beer. I love it. I know I'm letting my Wisconsinite show with that, like 1,000,000%. I have to give a shout out. There's a brewery right down the road from me named Brewfinity that makes an unbelievably good Oktoberfest, and it's like the one thing I look forward to. That sounds so bad. It's one of the things I look forward to for the fall season. I really love it. So I know we talked about IKEA earlier, but hey, Brewfinity, just a heads up, if you're listening, we'd love to have you. Just saying. But yeah, that's where I stand with the whole autumn thing. So
autumnal is a great word too, and you don't have that with fall.
No. Okay, I'll give you that. That one is, but it still feels like I need to wear like a suit and tie when I say it. Like I'm attending like the yacht club or something.
You should join us. We have an autumnal yacht club.
Oh,
while we sip Oktoberfests with pinkies up.
Oh yeah, well you have to do it with the pinkies up.
Yeah.
All right, so I already brought up a lot of controversial things. I am going to also bring up another controversial thing because this is the topic I really wanted to discuss this week. And I say that it's controversial because I feel like learning and development folks, educators, really anybody that does speaking on any sort of professional level has a serious love-hate relationship with this specific topic. And that is...
Steve, wait. Hold up for a second. I'm really sorry to interrupt. I know this is kind of a random question. It just popped in my mind a second. I got a little riddle for you. Okay. How much does a polar bear weigh?
I don't know how much. 500,000 pounds. How much?
Enough to break the ice.
God damn it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. How did I not know that was coming? My God. Okay. Yeah. I want to talk about icebreakers. Yes. Specifically, I would like to talk and get into like, how do you use them? Like, what's your relationship with them? Do you employ them? Do you like them? I mean, I guess it depends on what your answer is going to be. And if you do like them, how do you use them? Or do you just avoid them like the plague? And I'm going to break tradition here. I'm going to go against the norms that I have established here on Girls See Competent. And I'm going to give you the floor because I really want to hear what you have to say first on this topic before I dive into mine. And I promise you, I'm going to do my darndest to not interrupt you. So,
okay, great.
Ailshire, tell us what you got. Sure. Tell me what you are.
Well, Steve, I'm pro icebreaker.
Wrong. Oh, sorry.
But you know what, Steve? You want to do another one? I'm also pro Tylenol.
Oh.
You know, I think icebreakers can be beneficial when they're used correctly. I'll kind of state that, right? I'm pro icebreaker, but when they are used correctly. Go around the room and list your favorite animal at the start of a change management training. Not great. Completely pointless. 2 truths and a lie. Awful. How are these beneficial to the group or the training? It's not going to break the ice. It's going to break my patience.
Well stated. Sorry, I know I said I wasn't going to interrupt, but you're cutting into exactly my sentiment. But okay, yeah, please keep going. Sorry.
But with that said, when I do use a random icebreaker or a random question for an icebreaker, I'd like to further explain. My icebreakers are quick, and the random questions that I do ask to start the session will always lead into another question that is relevant to the training.
Okay. And
I said, quote unquote, when I do, because I don't always use icebreakers. It really depends on what the course is, what the topic is, if there's an ability to tie in the question or icebreaker to the content, and so on. Sometimes you're aware of this when there's a topic that is like, we got to go, and it's really important. And there's no, it might be a serious topic too, where you're like, we have to just focus on the content. Then I won't do one.
Yeah.
So now that the side quest is over, back to what I was saying. The only icebreakers I do are electronic and they're live. And it's a program I use called Slido. You might be similar with Poll Everywhere.
Yeah.
Same gist, just different organization.
Yeah, I love Slido. Like, I've used it in the past. It's a great tool. I can't recommend it enough. It's awesome for group participation. It's really great for drawing out those introverted folks that don't maybe want to raise their hand in front of the group or speak up. I know I'm preaching to the choir on this one. I guess this is more for listener land out there. Now I'm thinking about it, we should totally do a future episode on whether it's Slido or like Kahoot, those kind of things. Maybe just introduce folks to some of those different softwares.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I really had to step in on that because I genuinely really love that platform. It's a great program.
I'm glad you brought Kahoot up as well, because that's a great one. With Slido, and the reason, so it is about group participation. So why do I use it right away? I occasionally will use it throughout. My employer, they're all about, at least on my team, I should say, we're all about the basic version. So I get to use Slido 3 times throughout my presentations. We have another team in my department that they do more of the orientation for new employees. So they use it multiple times in that orientation day. So they have like the primo version. But for what really, I'm doing a 3-4 hour training. We're not going to be doing that all day anyways. So I will use it a few times. But I start off with, again, that one question. So I generally use a base question to let them practice using the platform.
Sure.
Which, again, it's easily accessed with a QR code or a quick URL on the screen. So, for example, if the attendees don't want to scan the QR code or they can't figure it out, then it's just opening up their browser, Safari, Google, just typing in slido.com, and then there's a hashtag that goes along with that. So the question that I use probably 99% of the time, it's just, again, it's a practice one because it's kind of fun just to get the hang of the software, is what celebrity, past or present, are you inviting to your next birthday party? I will say it's a good way because it's kind of fun. Like today I did a multi-generational workforce training. So it's cool because different people are going to put, their favorite artists, musicians, actors, actresses, could be past, present, could be, whoever, any famous person. And that's neat because then it kind of gets the conversation started to be like, oh yeah, that's cool. I like them. I've seen them in concert. I saw that movie. And then right there, we're already bridging the gap of the generational workforce because you've got people together that don't think they have anything in common, yet they really do. So that's a really fun one to do. So another example I want to share with that is it also, not only it helps break the ice, quote unquote, but it also helps me get an idea of where people's heads are at. So, for example, I was doing a training with a handful of fire chiefs in the Fond du Lac area. Wow, I'm getting my Taylor Swift era. Fond du Lac area. So those of you not familiar, that is an hour north of Milwaukee. And I asked the question. So the training I was doing, sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place. The training I was doing was having difficult conversations. So I had content prepared, but like you're aware of this, Steve, how you deliver that content sometimes will change. The transitions you'll use, the things that you'll say to your participants, that will change depending on the audience, what their familiarity level is, what their comfortability level is. So I did this question on purpose to see what the reaction was. And when I asked the celebrity question, the results, they also form in a word cloud. So the more you have the same name, whether it's the artist, the musician, whatever. Oh,
sure, yeah.
The word cloud, the name gets bigger. So it just kind of shows you how popular they are.
Yeah.
So I did this up again for a room full of 50 plus fire chiefs. The word Trump was the largest on the screen by a country mile. So that actually really helped me get an idea of, okay, these are already difficult conversations. I'm going to be talking about diversity, equity, inclusion. This is going to help me tailor some of the things I might say differently to one group to what this group was going to be.
Yeah.
So,
no,
long-winded response there, but
no. So, and not to this isn't meant to be political, I would assume. I think your point stands that you are going to have different talking points depending upon your audience. And I think that's completely valid, very fair. I'm going to speak to a group of 65 plus year olds in a far different manner than I would if I was training or facilitating something with like a bunch of 20-year-olds. Like there's different context to things. And I think this
Correct.
way, if they felt inclined to say, oh, yeah, the celebrity question, they say Trump, well, that kind of gives you an idea of where they want to go with this conversation. So
Correct.
I think that's a really, really potent, pretty powerful way of going about utilizing that kind of a platform.
Because it wasn't, oh, I'm interested in who you're voting for. It was I'm reading. It helps me read the room, so I know that there's some topics that are like, you know what, this is better left for another group. Or if I have to hit on something, it's not dodging. It's not dodging the topic. It's not dodging the question. It's doing so in a different manner.
Yeah.
So that's the importance of that.
Yeah, that's a great way to use it.
I'm not scared to talk about things. That part of my job is to talk about difficult conversations. But how do you do it? How do you present it? In a certain way.
Well, I mean, I really don't want to like dive down this hole too far, but I think we can all agree in the idea that you need to target your audience in a specific way, and there's no better way to turn off an audience than to say something that they completely are against or they defy, and you're like, okay, well, I no longer have clout or credibility with you anymore. Why are we even in this room talking anymore?
Yeah.
So I think having that, like that established norm of saying, hey, where do you stand on this? And they're able to direct some attention to you. I think that's a great way to utilize those kind of platforms.
Great.
Totally on a tangent. I saw this Reddit post because, of course, I was doing my own little background on like, what do I think about icebreakers? I have an idea, and I'm going to tell that in a little bit here. But like, I want to know like what happens when they're used really well or terribly. So I just did the most basic thing ever. I just typed into Google like icebreakers being, terrible or working well. And sure enough, as always, somebody posted about it on Reddit like 3 years ago, something like that. And one of the responses I thought was really funny was this individual said the facilitator of his group posed the question, what TV shows are you currently watching? And when one of the individuals raised their hand and asked, like, what does this have to do with the class? His response was, I'm having surgery next month and I'll be laid up for a couple of weeks. I just want some shows to binge. And I can get behind that. I thought that was really funny. I thought that was really funny. We're all human, right? Like, just let's have some fun with it. It's all good. But that gave me a pretty solid chuckle.
That's pretty amazing. So I start with that question again, it's just to practice doing the whole Slido thing. Because many people, when I come into the training, they're not familiar with it. So it's a good way the interaction, I think, is there. The second question I then ask, depending on the training, of course, will usually be a poll type question. So, for example, when I facilitated training on the multi-generational workforce, I might say, which of the following is most important to you at work? And I'll provide multiple choice options of flexibility, pay, work-life balance, autonomy, and job enjoyment. As an example. So this is more directed towards the content. It allows me to know where my audience is and how I can use that info as I continue on with the session. And the cool part about that question is people are truthful with it.
Sure.
You would be surprised because, and we know the studies are all out there, pay is never the number one reason people leave a job. Okay? It is important, yes, but there's always some other factors. Whether it's employee engagement, whether it's the autonomy, whether it's the work-life balance, that's very rarely going to be someone's number one for leaving. And so it's cool just when I like asking that because it just gives me a sense in the room about where people are. And so we can focus more on work-life balance in this training. We can talk about your overall job satisfaction. And so it helps, it relates to the training. That is why I feel it's important to have icebreakers. So I want to thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It does feel good to be right. Now, I'd love to hear your take on why you love icebreakers as much as I do.
Oh, wow. Okay. I feel like isn't that leading the witness? Isn't that correct?
Objection.
You raise very valid points.
I know.
I love the way that you use the Slido and like the Kahoot style programs, those polling systems. I definitely agree with trying to target the demographic that you're going to be speaking to. I think those are totally valid. And Patrick, you've known me long enough, and those of you out in listener land are going to find out that, yes, of course, I have my opinions on things, but I am more than willing to adjust those. If you give me enough evidence, you have something to back it up, I will hear you out. Like, that's it. Knowing all of that now, this is why you're wrong about icebreakers and you should be embarrassed.
Thank everyone for joining us. We will see you next week.
Okay. Yeah, bye. No. So it is of my humble opinion, I think icebreakers are almost always like this forced bullshit that is more often than not provides such little substance to the overall conversation. And I know this is like super scientific and stuff, right? Like, I understand. I am going purely off of my opinion. I get that. I'd much rather that times used that would be used for like an icebreaker like that, just set the foundation for learning. Like, I can't remember if it was 2 episodes ago or 3, whatever it was, where Patrick, you'd mentioned kind of establishing the environment that of like your class and saying like,
correct,
hey, this is a space for learning. I know it sounds like super new agey, but it works. I promise you.
Yep.
Just establishing those norms that I can get behind. And I look at that as like, that's a way better usage of that time. And I think a lot of it is because people look at icebreakers, I guess probably in a general sense, as this parlor trick to like engage people, right? Like, and unfortunately, most of the time they suck. Once again, super scientific, backed up by all the data I just made up and my emotional set. Like, I get that. This does bring me to an interesting follow-up, and I want to, maybe I'm being nitpicky, so please forgive me. You mentioned the first question being like, they're just getting used to the platform, which I think is a wonderful use of that system. Like, hey, who would you invite to the birthday party? Okay, cool. Yeah, that gets them used to it. There's no pressure involved with that. I totally get that. I guess in my head, when I think of an icebreaker, it is legitimately the first thing that you are introducing to them, because it's you're breaking. Like, you can't see me doing the quotes, but you're breaking the icy tension of the room and warming it up for the audience so they feel comfortable. So does your second question really qualify as an icebreaker? Are you looking at it as like the entirety of that first point before you start on the topic itself?
You nailed it right there. This is really, these slides that I'm presenting are like immediately right after I set the ground rules. Mm-hmm. So it's hey, welcome everyone. My name is Patrick. I am your facilitator. Here's a couple, not ground rules, I'll say housekeeping things. The restrooms are out to the left. If we're planning on taking a break of 10 minutes within whatever time, depending on obviously how things go. But then, and I'd like to welcome you all to the safe space or brave zone. Go into that. Okay, let's get started. And then I break the ice. So to your point, maybe that second question, I don't just come in and do cartwheels and be like, all right, everybody up and let's hug each other for 3 minutes.
All right. So I ask that. No, that's a good thing. Like, you basically answered that in exactly the way I was hoping that you would. I'm like, we're still friends, right? No, like I was really hoping that would be your response. And I had a feeling, based on your professional background, you've been doing this for a hot minute, that's the way you were going to answer it. Because I do concede this fact that, yes, although I'm not a huge icebreaker fan, I also feel like executing them effectively is a real skill. Like, just like public speaking is a real skill. Because chances are my disdain for them probably has more to do with witnessing poorly executed ones taking place in front of me than the actual icebreaker itself. Kind of like I'm mad at the hammer, not at the person wielding it, when really it should be reversed, right? So
Right.
I'm with you on that. I think we can agree on that. I do love, I said this earlier, I love how you're using Slido. I think that's great. Using those kinds of platforms like Kahoot, anything that can get that engagement without forcing people really out of a comfort zone that is like beyond what they really want to participate. It's all, I'll mention this too. Those platforms are really good when you have groups where that person's manager or boss is present too. Because studies have actually shown that those types of groups will be less likely to really speak up and say their piece because of fear of possible retribution, or it might reflect poorly on a review of theirs down the line, something like that. So having that anonymity of it just appearing on the screen goes a really long way.
That's so true. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And the nice thing with like Slido too, it's very simplistic. I'm not asking, and again, Steve, it goes back to what's the purpose of this activity? How is this enhancing the training? So
yes,
in a minute, we'll talk about some maybe experiences that didn't go well for us.
Yes,
I have a couple to share. But I'm just thinking of an example I know I've done before, and this isn't even what I want to share on, but this is something. So an example I would say is that if you started a training, even if it was, I don't care if it's all day and you're like, we got to fill some time here, going around and doing a bingo game where you go up and try to find someone that has 3 siblings. Okay. Oh, I've got 3 siblings. That's an X. Or you write your name in the bingo, right? You write your name in that, and you're trying to get a bingo, 5 in a row, whatever it is, right? Those now, I've done that activity before, but not with adults when I'm training a 4-hour session. What I have done that for is when I'm teaching 4th grade on the first day of school, because these students are going to be together for 180 days, and it's a good idea to find commonality for 180 days. Not for 3 hours of, you're going to drive away and go, wow, the first 20 minutes I found out that Barry lives under the bridge.
Well, you raise a really interesting point, and that is that sometimes with those questions, you can raise things that you don't intend. Like you can actually bring up things that will turn off your audience really quickly, because you might step into something in their personal life that they're not really willing to share with a bunch of strangers or even coworkers that they're with every day, that they just kind of keep that to themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe there's a home life situation that's not good. What really, the sky's the limit for the things that could go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So that's a great point. It's a really good point.
And going to now thinking back in my training days, these 8 years I've been doing this, plus all the years, teaching.
Yeah.
There's times that it hasn't gone well, and you learn from the experience. And so the question of what celebrity would you invite to your birthday party, that was something I got from someone else, a former manager of mine, but it was, I adapted it from what he said. So his question was, who would you invite? Who are you planning to invite to your next birthday party? And so so it's a little different, right? It's just, it's not the celebrity. It's just whoever. So to your point of not knowing what people are going through and their lived experiences, I was at a position in manufacturing. I was doing a lot of training for a entry-level position. The employees that were coming in were temp to hire. So it was a 90-day process to get hired onto the company. Yeah. They would come in and they spent like 2 full days with me in the classroom. It was basically learning the gist of the job, about the company, about the job. And then it was passing them off to the people out on the manufacturing floor. And then they would get trained that way for the job specific tasks. Okay. Back to that first point though, we had people from all walks of life that were coming in here as employees. Great people that I met, many people, and there was a lot of turnover. So I was doing this every week, twice a week, and meeting a lot of people. But that question of, instead of what celebrity would you invite to your birthday party, the other one was, who would you invite to your birthday party? And it was, past or present. that got a little personal because, again, it's up to the person to speak up. But we would be starting on a Monday morning at 7 o'clock. And by 7:15, I've got someone going, my grandma, she passed away a couple weeks ago.
Oof.
Shit. Now we are starting, and it very, very vulnerable and brave of them.
Yeah.
And, but that starts things off on a really rough note. And so to try to make it a little bit more positive, it's the celebrity. So you get the musicians, you get your author, it's just, it's more lighthearted and fun. I love it too, because I have embarrassed myself and tried to pronounce an artist's name. And I was dual facilitating once, and I'm like, who is SZA? And my coworker, my co-teacher is like, dude, that's SZA, who is a rap artist.
Wait, what is it?
SZA.
Like the letters SZA.
Yeah.
That's
SZA.
I'd have said like SZA or something.
Like this was a couple years ago, and I hadn't heard of them, and so it's just I just put
found out about
there.
them 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, it was great. So that's one of those times where that wasn't ideal.
Sure.
And then I have to go back to Two Truths and a Lie. I hate that game.
Oh, my God.
First of all, it's usually the most random facts that aren't fun. But here's the other thing, Steve. People screw that game up more than you realize. They're like thinking about it. If you don't write it down, you're thinking about it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I just told 3 truths or 3 lies, or I told 1 truth and 2 lies. People just get confused because they're like under pressure. Yeah. It's just it's a stupid game. I'm sorry if you do that one. I don't like it. I would very much not like to have to do that in an icebreaker. I would probably make all 3 things up just to keep it interesting. Yeah.
I've totally done that. Like, if I am part of a group that BS comes up, I'm like, just hold my beer. This is what I'm going to say. And I swear I'll be like, yeah, I was an Olympic athlete and I won the Nobel Prize and I'm 8 feet tall. They're like, none of those are real. Like, you're correct. This is a dumb game. Like, can we do anything else? Like, God, I'm totally with you. I hate that one.
Or I will be a total jerk and change the slightest thing. So we did this with our team a couple years ago, and I was like, we'll play fine. And it was a small group, so it was fine. We all got along fine, but I was like, fine, I'll pick out something. So I told them that I used to teach elementary school, which was true. I told them that I love college basketball. I always take off of work for it. That was also true. And then I said, I used to live down in Dallas. And they're like, you just told us 3 things. And I was like, no, I lived in Austin.
Mic drop.
Because they knew I told the story how I moved to Texas. That was what they knew, but they didn't know. So like that just being stupid, like that's not even a good lie. That's lazy.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, who did I dupe? Like, what? Like, it's one thing if I'm like some really cool celebrity. Okay, fine. You might know these things, but no, I couldn't agree with you more, Patrick. I think 2 truths and a lie is probably the most egregious, only next to the example of that individual that goes up in front of the group and says, all right, everybody stand up, and like wants you to do jumping jacks or something. I swear to God, if any of you out there are ever going to do a presentation or you're in L&D and you deliver some content and somebody recommends that to you, feel free to push them onto the ground, because it is possibly the worst icebreaker.
Has that actually happened to you?
So it didn't happen to me. Early in my career, I was in this meeting and there was a newly promoted gentleman that he was put in charge of presenting on a very short topic, like something very easy for him to spit out to the group. It was really meant to be pretty no pressure. And he was right in the middle of like this 3-hour training. So nothing wild and crazy. we've had a couple of sessions. He gets up there, and I kid you not, he does the, all right, everyone stand up. And the audience reacted exactly as you'd think. They're like, are you serious? Like, no. But he didn't read the room and just kept pushing. And this is absolutely a true story.
Like, he was trying to get them to, like, come on, everyone stand up. Everyone stand up. Like,
yep. Yeah. Okay. He just would not take no for an answer. And this group, and it was probably, if I have to honestly guess, between 30 to 35 people in this room, they all got up and walked out of the room and used that like, as their bathroom smoke snack break. And the look on this guy's face of, are you kidding? Like, what is happening right now? Like, there was an exodus out the door. And once they all left, I just kind of walked over to him like, yeah, bud, don't ever do that. Like, that's what's going to happen. Please don't ever. So all of you out there listening, don't do that. It is abysmal for everybody. So just please don't. Please don't. I want to hear, what do you have? What are some examples? Do you have any icebreakers gone bad that didn't work for you, or beyond what you've told us?
Yeah. Okay. It's more it's when you have a group of, we'll say 15 to 25.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And it's, let's go around and share one thing.
Oh, no. No.
You spend 25, you've got 25 people, you're spending 25 minutes.
I think you're being nice in saying 25 minutes. Most people will spend within that 1 minute range. Then you get the one person, like yours truly speaking, who will take 15 minutes. You're like, oh, okay. I'm so glad you told us about your Aunt Darlene. Can we get on with this now? Like, everybody in that room has checked out totally mentally. They're like, why am I here? This is so dumb. Holy smokes. Yes, I totally.
So I've had that before where it's going around the room and each share something. Like, even to solve the issue of name and why you're here and where you're from, like, we can learn that in conversation throughout the training, or make a name tent, or give people a name badge. That solves the going around.
Sure does.
Especially when it's people that you don't even work with. If it's different organizations coming together, I gotta be honest, I'm not there to make best friends. It's great if we have a good conversation and it's a learning experience, but I don't need that.
Yeah, I'm here to learn. So let's do that. Let's learn. Well, so it sounds like we actually agree on the icebreaker topic. Like, yeah, I don't tend to really like them very much, but I think just like anything, if it's used effectively and deliberately, it can be a really great thing. And it sounds like that is how you use them. I've certainly used Slido in the past and like for those kinds of things. Of course, I've used icebreakers in my life. It was funny. I was having this conversation with somebody that has been in L&D. She's been in L&D for like 25, 30 years, something like that. Like, she's a juggernaut of L&D, like just incredible. When I was talking to her, she asked me what I was doing this week. And I was like, oh, not much. I got a podcast I'm recording and whatnot. How about you? And she's like, well, I have this. I have an interview with Forbes. I'm like, oh, okay, wow. Thank you for making me feel crappier than I already do. But she was a sweetheart about it. So, Christine, if you're listening, hello. She was really, really wonderful about it. But she actually brought up icebreakers to me. She was like, I feel like I'll have people come up to me and ask me like, hey, I have to give this presentation. What do I use for an icebreaker? She's like, I don't have an answer for them because I don't ever like to use icebreakers. I'm like, yes, I'm with you. But I bet Christine, probably just like us, like as you start to peel back these layers, it's really just in how they're being executed. And I think like many things, it's probably been one of those experiences that we've seen fail so often, or it's not been executed correctly, that you just kind of go, well, they're all trash, when that's not fair. I don't think so.
And again, not to go down the rabbit hole, but really the ice is going to get broken no matter what. You're going to either just welcome everyone to the...
Yeah. All right.
I'm not talking about global warming. I'm talking about the fact that like you're going to get into the content at some point, right?
That's yeah. Right? I can't argue with that.
Whether it's
that. You're right.
Wow, you could say we skipped the icebreaker. No, the icebreaker was, hey, after I welcome everyone, all right, so let's get into it. I don't know. It's gonna. There's some sort of whatever that transition is. Technically, I guess, but to your point though, the experiences you have are gonna shape your viewpoint of what you like, what you don't like. I've had some bad ones, but also as a facilitator, I feel like at least the ones that I try to do are typically going to be good. That again, it's going to focus on the content.
And I like that you said that you learn from them too. Like you learned that which celebrity are you going to bring to your birthday party? You kind of turned that from what somebody else had did. You just kind of added your own spin to it. Mm-hmm. But I think you did that for a very valid reason. You kind of took that personal aspect of it out and kind of allow the audience to use a celebrity as a proxy of their personality. Yeah. Like, oh, wow, you like that individual. I can get a sense for your personality. Like,
and let me say sense. Too, though, whether I have 10 people in the room or 40 people in the room,
sure,
that activity right there, that icebreaker, that takes 60 seconds. So
that's awesome.
Again, because it's live, right? So it's, and I don't go through, I'm going to read all these celebrities. No. And I make it the word cloud. So then when you got a room of 50 people, you're probably going to have people at least having some sort of, whether it's Taylor Swift's a big one or Oprah or whoever, it's whoever it could be. It could be a politician, but the idea is that it helps at least set the tone. And it's in a selfish way. That first question is for me. The second one I ask about the content is for them. So another training I did was on change management. It could be what do you most struggle with change management? List all and then you get the idea where the group is, because it's going to be a poll question. So
I love it. I think that's awesome. I said it earlier. If enough evidence and enough data and information is presented, I am always willing to change my perspective. And I actually have to agree with you. I came into this, I legitimately wanted to talk about this topic because I wanted to spend time making fun of icebreakers. And that is absolutely the truth.
He did say that.
But you raised extremely valid points. And I think it has offered me a brand new perspective on the whole concept of icebreakers. So thank you for that, Mr. Ailshire. I greatly appreciate that.
This podcast is brought to you by Being Right. Do you know any other Patricks in your life? Because they are typically right. And if you are familiar with any Stephen Corneliuses, they are usually wrong.
Oh my God. Actually, you jokingly earlier said about being right, and you ended up being right. God. Man. Oh, that's a bitter pill. That's okay. Why don't we just change the subject? That would be cool. It's a good dedication this week.
It's a great time to get to the dedication. And we do. And Steve, I know I say this a lot, but I'm feeling like this is the week that we find her.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am ready to click to spin. We have the wheel. Every time I want to say wheel of death. That's not it. It's the wheel of opportunity. All right. I'm going to put that in the show notes or in my notes so I know to say opportunity and not scare everyone away. We're not trying to kill anybody. All right. Here we go. And spin.
All right.
Going around.
What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Let's hear it. What is it? What is it?
Nora.
Oh, I'll bet that was a Nora.
You think so?
That was a Nora. Yeah, I feel good about that one. Nora, thank you so much. You have given Patrick and I so much, and we will be asking for that back paying of the rent that you have, since you've been living in our heads for so long. We really appreciate you. Nora, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, with that, I suppose we could probably wrap this up, hey?
Let's do it.
Thank all of you guys so much for joining us on Grossly Competent. If you like what you're hearing, you like this banter, you like hearing Patrick be right, you like hearing me be wrong, and you just think, how can I support these mutants and their delightful content? Well, let me tell you some ways. You can take a moment and subscribe, follow, or give us 5 stars. We'd love you so very much on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell that really awesome training and development person at your company about this podcast and say, hey, these two not so stallions might have something that you want to hear. Please give us a shout out on socials. If you want to reach out to us, we would love that too. We're pretty active on LinkedIn, and I know Mr. Aylshire is active on Instagram, so please feel free to reach out. You can also touch base with us on Patreon at patreon.com/grosslycompetent. Or check us out on Buzzsprout. That's where we host this beautiful monster. We'll put that link in the show notes as well for you. You can become an active supporter. We would love you for that. Every cent counts. We appreciate it all. This is definitely a labor of love, but we would also love it if we could get some help supporting it. So with that, for any of you that do contribute, my plan is to start doing shout outs at the end of each of these episodes. This week, I want to give a shout out to this anonymous listener out in Libertyville, Illinois for joining us on the previous episode. So thank you. You crushed it. The more supporters we get, the more things we'll introduce. Patrick and I have already spun some ideas back and forth. We're really excited to start implementing them. So just please, please, please. And on that note, I'm really curious to hear what all of you have to say out in listener land on Icebreakers. Do you agree with Patrick? Do you agree with my original proposition that they are dumpster fires and they should never be used? Genuinely, I want to hear what you have to say. You can always reach out to us, like I said, on LinkedIn. Otherwise, reach out to us on Gmail, grosslycompetent@gmail.com, about as easy as you can get. Let us know. Tell us in the subject line which episode you're talking about, and we'll gladly read those, and maybe we'll bring them up during future episodes.
Well, I think it's good that this is probably going to be the highest listened episode, just because of people have heard that, oh, I heard Steve and Patrick had a little banter and Patrick won. And so I think I can't wait for this to come out. The title of this episode is going to be fantastic.
Oh, I bet it's going to be very humble and God, no,
yes.
I was wrong. I will admit that.
I do facilitate a course called Cultural Humility, so I do have a little bit of that in me. But I also like to gloat when I'm better than someone. I mean, when I win an argument. I mean, you're a great co-host. I love you, man.
Oh, I love you, buddy. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you all so very much, fellow Uggos, and we'll see you next time. Ugly. Ow.
Ooh, we are 2 weeks in a row. Dashboard confessional. We're sounding good. You are vindicated.
But we will happily pretend to be slightly confident. Oh, I got to redo that. I'm sorry. I said confident. Jeez. Wow.
We are grossly confident and grossly incompetent.
All right. I'll wait a couple seconds so then you know to cut that.
After that. Okay. God damn it. I don't have time for editing this week.